You are stepping into the world of an old-growth forest. Smell the freshness of trees and rich soil. Hear the soothing sound of the running river water. Slow down to nature's pace and listen for the things that make this forest a special and valuable place. The wind through the trees, the calls of the birds, footfalls of deer and elk. As you explore the forest environment, try to look at familiar things with new eyes. Imagine the time when these 200-foot cedar trees were young saplings. Don't be surprised if your pace undergoes a subtle shift, a slowing down, a gradual coming home. At first glance, the forest may seem random, an arbitrary mix of trees and other plants. One of the strongest sensations you may have is simply a feeling of comfort in the overwhelming lush greenness of the forest environment. When you see a standing dead tree in the forest, look carefully for the excavated cavities all along the length of its trunk. Far from being at the end of their lives, these dead trees, called snags, are important to the old-growth ecosystem, providing habitat for many species of birds, mammals, and insects. This snag has been home to a pileated woodpecker. Listen carefully, and you'll soon learn to recognize his impressive call. It resembles a loud rattling shriek and is piercing enough to be heard a mile away. Each pileated woodpecker requires a great many snags to rest and forage in. Our western Cascade forests are among the best remaining habitats. The single event of the cedar tree falling has multiple consequences. Do you notice the abundance of young western hemlock seedlings at this site and on the rotting trunk and stump? The fallen tree in its new role of nurse log offers many advantages to these seedlings, such as a continual supply of moisture and nutrients, giving them a better chance of making it to adult tree size. Over many decades, these seedlings will eventually grow large enough to replace the present forest at this site. Take time to sit quietly and watch the forest around you. It shouldn't be long before you see something fall from the trees. It could be a twig broken by an alighting bird, or a piece of bark pecked off by a woodpecker. Although far less conspicuous than the fallen giant trees, this accumulated needle and leaf litter is the primary nutrient material that is recycled back into the forest ecosystem, sustaining a rich plant and animal community. Do you notice more light coming through the forest leaf canopy above you? The fall of the giant tree and the smaller trees it brought down with it created a gap in the forest where sun-loving seedlings of vine maple were quick to tap the newly available soil nutrients and sunlight. Witness the changing face of the White River. Listen to it speaking to you as it curves its downward path to the Pacific Ocean. Do you sense the river spirit knows the generations of Native Americans who lived and flourished in this ancient glacial valley? Its icy cold waters supply abundant fish, attract game, and provide a rich environment for edible roots and berries. You are seeing the White River in the middle of its journey. Its flowing waters come from the Emmons Glacier high above you on the eastern slope of Mount Rainier. Its seasonal moods are a special part of this forest environment.